Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the pod. Got a few things to share. Let's start with the latest and greatest. This month I've introduced astrology themed sessions depending on the flavour of the season. So for example, this particular one, ARIES, working with identity. Next one will be TAURUS, working with values, your relationship to prosperity, etc. So each one will have a theme. You can do one a month. I suppose you could condense it, as long as you've got time to integrate. But anyway, hit me up. Let me know if that's how you want to go, and it will be a series and a progression that you can really measure your progress with. And if you do it online, each session will be taped and sent to you. If you do it here, you can still tape the session if you wish, but of course, in person has its own rewards. Okay, so let's talk now about geocentric versus heliocentric. So if you think of geocentric, the old or the traditional interpretation is the Earth and the sun and planets move around it. Heliocentric is when the Earth and the planets move around the sun. So that got me thinking. It's dangerous really, isn't it? But that got me thinking, okay, so, sorry, I just realised I don't have the mic on. Apologies. So that got me thinking. Like, I've been feeling lately that I've had to meet the world. And I notice when you meet the world, you have to adjust. You have to compromise. It's diluting you in some way, shape or form. It's like, here's your circle, there's the world, you meet and suddenly you just, like, the individuality goes. It's interesting. I've just found it not where I want to be, right? So as I'm claiming, embodying, radiating, I'm experiencing myself more as geocentric, where the world meets me. I create my own frequency, the frequency I wish to vibrate and attract. Holding that, living in my world, letting the world come to meet me. I'm the light, they're the fucking moth. This geocentric experience or way, point of view, mindset really supports embodiment because it brings it all back in, inside out, rather than outside in. So just, explore that for yourself. Are you geocentric or heliocentric? Geocentric recommended. Okay. Now this one's interesting. I've put my deck out and cards. Often I check the energy of my deck and cards. What I find more often than not is energy upon it, energy trying to siphon off it, energy trying to somehow lob on. So I clear it. Anyway, I was clearing this particular group's energy that has happened more than once. And I'm like, how come this fucking thing keeps coming back? They all sort of work with this entity. It's this really dark filth, fucking don't even, right? Anyway, so as I'm looking at this energy, this entity, what I'm realising is these women have been calling in what they consider to be the dark goddess. You know, they want to do some powerful shit, whatever. And what I realised is this, what they've been drawing on is not the dark goddess. It's an entity, all right, but it's like an entity of pain, women's pain, of anger, of hurt, of revenge, of rage. Now, for me, as a Sekhmet, our experience of anger is powerless. We are not powerless. We don't do anger. We don't need to. We just go into the neutral and fucking fire away. That's power. That power is not coming from a reactive place. that power is coming from a well deep within, and it comes from a place of neutrality. As soon as you go one side or the other, you go into emotional reaction, the power source drops. So what they're doing is they call this dark goddess that they think is some form of power is in fact just an entity they're serving, and there's no sovereignty in that at all. Anywho, so in talking about this dark goddess, I'm aware that there are many treists of it on the internet around, and I absolutely respect people's expression and experience and wanting to understand this dark goddess. I mean, the fact that there's a light goddess and a dark goddess, hello, are we not in duality? Is the goddess not beyond that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying. So this whole experience of these fuckers that were drawing on this energy, which I gathered they were thinking they were drawing on the dark goddess, it was in fact an entity. It was a reactive entity that just held a whole lot of pain and suffering and rage. And like I said, the Sekhmets are anything but powerless. See, borrowed power. No good can come of it. Cultivate your fucking own, honestly. Anyway, on that note, people experience essence with me and Ramutet. The practice completely changes their life. They can't imagine doing anything particularly creative without it. I get it. I understand. Me too. I'm having people wanting to teach my work. I'm flattered. I am. And I'm happy that they feel that the work speaks in such a way that they want to be part of it being transmitted and out there in the world. These people are asking me, well, actually they're not asking me, it's funny, they're telling me they're going to include essence. I think they think by telling me, informing me, that somehow they'll avoid Mart. Yeah, no. So they're telling me that they want to, or they're going to, teach essence to their peeps. The instructions in the book are for individual use only. If you decide to monetize it, teach it, involve it, work it into your work, change a word but still use the same sentiment. Come on, people. I know what's going on. You know, I've had them say, oh, you're too advanced. Your work's so advanced, new people wouldn't understand it. Pardon? I mean, one consistent form of feedback I've got from these books is my ability to present complex or previously abstract concepts into plain speak that people actually understand and can ground in the here and now. So telling me my stuff's too advanced is actually quite insulting to me. I mean, don't you think I can meet someone in the consciousness they're at to transmit my own fucking work? The lore of my lineage? So I'm offering this and I'm loving to do this. So please, I'm okay with it. Reach out. I'm happy to come and present it to your peeps. I'm happy to give them essence. I'm happy to give them the Ramutet experience. And you can then teach what you want, how you want, and they'll have the foundation and there'll be no mart and everyone will be happy. How about that? The alternative is you come here and you train. You train in the Lore of Sekhmet and you hope to fuck you have the character and integrity to hold the energy, because that's part of it. And believe me, it's an extensive training. But one of the reasons is that if someone comes to you for essence connection, they know they're getting the real deal, not some depotentized shit from some goddess light wannabe. No. Finally, I just want to throw in some solar flares. Everything old is new again. It's like I'm hearing, it's all coming round again. Solar flares, well, every 11 years you kind of hear about it because the poles shift on the sun itself and the flares kind of get outrageous and blah, blah. But this time I'm hearing, again, coming around, an actual physical pole shift where the north and south poles shift on the Earth itself. Now we talk about Mu being upright. Consciously, yes, she is. And she's been pulling the planet with her. If you have done your study or been in the loop, so to speak, true north has changed so much that they had to recalibrate the airports with the landing strips. I mean, it's real, people, okay? So she's on her way up. Now, if those flares knock out, see, I remember when we were first training with Macabre, etc., one of the reasons we were training with the Macabre was that if there was a pole shift, the idea of the poles were holding all the magnetic fields. Well, the fields would drop. You know, you read the Schumann resonance. That's why the Schumann resonance is like also part of all of this. The Schumann resonance would measure this frequency. Anyway, so the magnetic fields themselves would drop, and with that, all the memories. So the idea of having the Macabre was you would hold the memories of what, really? I don't know, come to think of it. But the point being, the reality really changes, and it's usually a 90-degree shift. So what if this coming April, these fantastic solar flares, the impetus for change of knocking out the internet, flipping the damn poles, all memory of this fuckery gone, but the memory inside is never affected, essence. That's why it's so important for essence. That can't be programmed. That's a memory of truth in your language, in your sentience, that cannot be interfered with. So really, if you want to navigate this time, just get into self, get into essence, get into that centre of consciousness, not the mind, consciousness. I think that'll get you through. Anyway, exciting times, solar flares, pole shifts. Bring it on. And just as a little Easter egg, so to speak, you can have free postage for anything you buy in the shop up till midnight, the 31st of March. Okay? And the code word is going to be podcast. So put in podcast and you will get your free postage till 31st of March, midnight. Anchor Mart.